Hi guys, Ellis here, coming at you with the first episode of a new series. This series, as you can see, is called Transfer News or Transfer Report. I haven't actually fully decided on the name yet. But yeah, so this will just be going through a couple of confirmed transfers and potentially some rumours throughout the past couple of weeks of the transfer window. I'm currently filming this at the end of June, so 1st of July hasn't come around yet, so there's no actual confirmed transfers, but there's transfers like Fabinho to Liverpool and players like that are going. They just haven't been confirmed yet. So yeah, I hope you enjoy this new series. It's one I've been kind of planning to for a while. It takes a lot more work than my other videos, but hopefully it'll all pay off. So yeah, I'm just gonna get right into it. Okay, so the first player I'm gonna cover is the one I mentioned in the introduction. It is Fabinho to Liverpool. Being a Liverpool supporter myself, I do have my own opinions on this transfer deal, but for now I'm just going to go into the facts. The fee has been agreed of £39.5 million, which I think for a player like Fabinho, who last summer was being talked about as potentially a £60-70 million transfer to PSG, I think that is an absolute steal, especially for a player of his quality and his position. That fee is brilliant. Brilliant business from Liverpool. Our transfer deals have never been exactly amazing at times. Our negotiations have been poor. Just look at the Fekir deal, but this, we went in, bid. I'm pretty sure we announced our interest, and 5 minutes later, the deal was agreed. So we did really well here. It's going to go into some of Fabinho's stats for last year. So he made 34 appearances for Monaco last season and was involved in 10 goals from DM, which is an amazing sort of quantity of goal involvements for a defensive midfielder. This meant he averaged a goal involvement in every 306 minutes, and it was split 4 goals and 6 assists, I do believe. And yeah, his defensive stats were even better. He was averaging 4.6 tackles and interceptions per game, which those are sort of Kante and Ndombele, and who's another CDM who's really good. Oh, can't think of one off my chest. Probably Matic levels of defensive output, let's say. So he is a very elite level CDM, and it is kind of what Liverpool have been missing in that midfield. He's averaging 1.5 dribbles per game, with 1.1 being successful. So he is a CDM who's going to be able to break the lines. He is going to be able to dribble through players. He's going to be able to break the press. And all that is very useful in the Premier League. And he will be a very good player in the Premier League because of these stats. He's a very good all-round player. He's very good at attacking. He's very good at dribbling, at defending. He's very much a full package player. Right, so my thoughts on this deal, obviously I've already said a few of them, but as I said, he will be playing as a CDM, and my sort of vision for him playing, how he will fit into this Liverpool system, well, he'll play where Henderson sort of played this season. He'll be sat there pinging balls left, right and centre. He'll be breaking the press and releasing that front three. He'll be sat behind Keita and Oxlade-Chamberlain, and for me that midfield three is a very strong midfield three, especially if Ox carries on his form into next season and Keita and Fabinho hit the ground running. That Liverpool's midfield could be as good as any other midfield in the Prem. So yeah, the next transfer I'll be covering is Santi Cazorla to Villarreal, which I think has kind of gone quite under the radar. Obviously, Santi Cazorla. Obviously he hasn't played. I don't think he's played more than 10 games for the past 3 seasons because of, I think he had surgery on his Achilles and he's had knee injuries, and he basically, his body is just liquid by now. But he has transferred to Villarreal, and I'm interested to see how he does, because for me Santi Cazorla is probably, dare I say, when he's on form, when he's playing consistently, he is the best sort of advanced playmaker in the Premier League. He's so two-footed. Right, he can ping balls with his right, he can ping balls with his left. He's so ambidextrous with both legs. He can use both feet for anything. He is now 33 years old, so his pace has gone. But I think that would just result in him playing slightly deeper at Villarreal, which is good because I think they've lost a few midfielders to some already, such as Rodri, who's gone to Atletico Madrid. Sadly, he hasn't actually played at all this season for Arsenal due to the fact that he has had the surgery on his Achilles. So it will be interesting to see what his fitness is like if he plays. But I do think he will be a one to watch sort of signing in La Liga next season. Literally, I don't have much thoughts on this transfer because obviously he didn't have any stats for this season. He didn't play. But I think potentially it could be a very good signing for Villarreal, a good creative player, and I'd never really associate Villarreal with goals, and he could bring a good amount of creativity into that midfield and help sort of create some more attacking chances. Okay, so the third signing that I'm going to be going over is Stefan Lichtsteiner. I've butchered that name, but he is transferred from Juventus to Arsenal. This is going to be a free transfer. The 34-year-old, I think, is moving on a 2-year deal or 1-year deal. 1-year deal. I'll be very surprised if it was 2-year deal because he'll be 36. But yeah, obviously he's just transferred from having a very, very good season at Juventus. He's always been a very good player for Juventus. Always, when Dani Alves was there, he was a good backup. Before Dani Alves was there, he was a good starter. And he's also, I've been watching him at the World Cup, and he's been playing really well as well. This season, Lichtsteiner made 27 appearances in the league, creating 2 assists for his teammates, which is obviously it's an assist every sort of 13 games, which isn't great, but his role at Juventus, he was a defensive fullback. He was not a fullback. He was bombing forward, trying to create chances. He was sitting back and sort of helping defend. He made 1.7 tackles and interceptions per game last season, which is pretty standard for a fullback. You'd expect to see those sort of stats from a fullback, especially considering Juve play a system that involves 3 centre backs. Him being slightly more advanced on the pitch, 1.7 tackles and interceptions does make sense. He's also only averaging 0.8 dribbles per game, with only 8.6 being successful, which isn't really that great, but I suppose that is what you get with an aging fullback. I mean, he's 34. He's not exactly, he's not young. My thoughts actually on the signing. This is one of the few signings I've seen this summer where I'm really, really confused as to why Arsenal have done this, because they've got Hector Bellerin, and I know that they're trying to sign a good sort of option replacement if he's injured or if he's out for suspended whatever reason. But I can't see why Arsenal are spending so much money on old players. Like in recent weeks, they've been linked with Lichtsteiner, who they've obviously signed. They're looking at potentially bringing on Fellaini from Manchester United, who's 32 now. Socrates Papastafopoulos from Dortmund, I think he's now 29. And there is another player, I can't think of who it is, but another 29-year-old, I think. And Arsenal's squad is already quite an old squad, and they're just bringing in. I get you want to bring in experience. You want to bring in experienced players that are going to help steady the ship at Arsenal. But I think these players have not had great seasons, and it just doesn't make sense to me at the moment. Arsenal, I think the Lichtsteiner deal is a signing that makes sense, but I don't think it's necessarily the correct signing. I think they would be better off spending, 10 million on a younger right back or someone of high quality who's maybe 28. So yeah, those are my thoughts on that deal. The fourth deal I'm going to be going over is Diogo Dalot, who was transferred from Porto to Manchester United. I probably butchered his name, I apologise. But he has transferred for £90 million. And he's only 19 years old. And I actually think this is a good signing for United. He did only make 6 appearances in the league this season, creating 1 assist. But I mean, he was stuck behind Ricardo Pereira, who has just signed for Leicester, I do believe. So he didn't have much of a chance of getting a look in. And also, I think quite a few of his appearances were substitute appearances. I think it was 4-2 in terms of 4 sub appearances, 2 starts. But his defensive numbers were actually quite good. He was averaging 2.4 tackles and interceptions per game, which is, as I said, Liechtenstein on 1.7 was quite good. 2.4 is actually slightly better. It shows that he's quite good defensively, and he does seem like he is quite a defensive fullback. He doesn't seem like he is one of these, Danny Alves, a Jordi Alba, and Marcelo, where he's just going to be bombing forward and creating chances and not really worrying about the defence as much. You can tell this by his dribbling stats. His dribbling stats are, he was doing 1 dribble per game, with 0.5 being successful, so he was only beating his man half the time. And the argument for all this is that, obviously he has only played 6 times this season, so it's difficult to gauge where he is at from the stats, but, Jose Mourinho has experience with Portuguese players. Obviously, he's Portuguese himself. He knows the setup there. He probably has still connections at Porto, so he probably has a good idea of the talent. So, yeah, my thoughts for this deal are that it's a great signing for United. I think in a few years he could be a very, very, very solid right back. His defensive stats, as I said, are already really good. And considering that Antonio Valencia is now 33 and his pace is starting to dwindle, his overall quality is starting to dwindle, I think Dalot next season and the season after that, he'll become a first team member of that Manchester United squad, and he'll fill in a hole, a lack of quality in the fullback positions at Manchester United. As well as this, though, I think it's strange that Porto they've sold 2 right backs this transfer window. Which I do think it's strange from Porto's perspective, because they had the best defence in the league last season. I think they only conceded about 25 goals. They've sold, as I said, they sold Pereira to Leicester. They've now signed Dalot to Manchester United, and that does mean that they're gonna have to sign a new player. Another thought is that I think the fee is brilliant for a 19-year-old. It coming from one of the top academies in world football. I think, especially someone who is in the starting lineup, who is in the first team at 19. It's a very good sign. 19 million nowadays. You can't buy a decent 30-year-old midfielder for that much money. So I think all round this deal was really good for Manchester United. And the final transfer I will be doing is Matteo Perin to Juventus. Now, this is one I actually am really interested in, because I've followed Matteo Perin while he has been at Genoa. I've always look into stats a lot. I like to go on who scored and look at all these stats, and he's a player that I do quite like. I don't really have a reason for thinking he's a good player, if I'm honest. I mean, I like the fact that he's grown such a reputation at a relatively small club in their league. So, yeah, I think it could be a good signing. It was only £10.5 million as well for a goalkeeper of his quality. I think that's a very good signing. I don't think there's many goalkeepers that you could get for that sort of price range. Other than maybe Timur Horn is the only one I can think of who's probably at his level. Last season for Genoa, he made 37 appearances in the league, which was only one off a full season. He made 3.4 saves per game, which is okay. I mean, I think Genoa finished sort of 12th. They finished quite mid-table, so the defense was a bit leaky. So he has like basically Jack Butland syndrome, where he's gonna concede goals and have to make a lot of saves. And 3.4 saves per game is a relatively high number. You can tell that it's not a great defence he is behind. Although he did make 12 clean sheets in the league, in over the 12 clean sheets in 37 games. That is an amazing return, and I think his form actually really helped Genoa from not finishing lower down the table. I think he was a massive part of them having the season they did. I mean, all this is all this has actually meant that I'm pretty sure he has now had international caps over Gianluigi Donnarumma, which that shows his ability currently. Everyone knows how good Donnarumma is, so the fact Perrin is starting for Italy over him, he's a good player currently. My thoughts on this though is that I think it's a great replacement for Gianluigi Buffon. Obviously, Buffon looks like he's going to PSG, and I think it's good that they've replaced him with an Italian. I think having that Italian sort of goalkeeper is really kind of a good thing for a club like Juventus. I think, you know, Buffon for so many years has kind of been their heartbeat, has been their sort of soul at the back. You talk about Juventus, you picture Gianluigi Buffon, and I think Perrin could potentially fill that mold. I think he's still quite young. I think he's only about 25, 24. He's still a young player. He can still play at Juventus for another 10 years. I don't want to say too much too soon, but I think there is a decent chance that he could emulate certain parts of Buffon's career at Juventus. Also, as I said as well, the fee is amazing. The fee is so good. 10.5 million for a goalkeeper of this standard is great. I'm pretty sure he will start over Wojciech Szczesny. I'll be very surprised if Szczesny starts playing for Juventus over Perrin. But yeah, I think that's all I have to say on that. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed that. I actually really enjoyed making this video, not gonna lie. I love transfers. I just love football in general, to be honest. Like, as if that wasn't easy for you guys to understand. But yeah, if you did enjoy the video, please like, comment and subscribe. If you do subscribe, make sure you click that notification bell, just so you know when I'm uploading. Share these videos with your friends. If you know anyone that's interested in transfers and football, show them this video, just because it helps me, helps the channel grow, helps me get constructive criticism, helps me know how I should improve the channel. And yeah, thanks for watching guys, bye.